And Apple fans hoping for the iPhone 6 or a new version of the iPad are going to have to wait. The company introduced no new devices at its developers conference in San Francisco Monday. CEO Tim Cook did unveil a flood of software upgrades.
Some Apple observers see a hint of what's to come in the fall. Scott Stein is the senior editor with our partner at CNET. Welcome.
Hey, thanks.
So what new things did they introduce in terms of software, not new devices?
Right, so a whole new programming language, which is, if you're a developer, that couldn't get any more exciting. If you're not a programmer, that's not as exciting. But they also talked about integration with a lot of services that right now are not so brought together. Health, with this Health Kit service and Health app, and HomeKit, which is this attempt to bring the smart home together. Both areas that we've heard about, that Google is also going to be in play with, and Samsung, and so it looks like Apple's trying to make a play for that, but with other people's devices and services for now. But you have to wonder down the road, it seems like it's laying the groundwork for the iWatch where they're waiting for it.
Was there an aggressiveness to the tone yesterday? I mean, the Apple CEO, Tim Cook, talked about 130 million people bought an iOS device in the last year, and that he said people were going from Android and switching back to Apple because they made a quote-unquote big mistake. Why did he feel the need to say that?
Well, I mean, Google and Android adoption is huge. So, you know, and it wasn't mentioned much in the room. The word Google was not spoken that many times. There were a lot of talks about Microsoft Bing integration, and so, you know, that's the big competitor. And, you know, you have to look at going forward, it's about freeing up the device strategy. You've talked a lot about working between Macs and iPhones and iPads, so it's not about one device.
One thing I love is you can start an email on a Mac device and then continue it. Right, you know, on your iPhone.
And that gets right to the point of what you want to do, and that's something that Google's software has been successful at, and I think Apple in the future, maybe you're not even working on a Mac or an iPad, maybe it's another device.
So what is the state today of the battle between Android and iPhones?
Well, it's heated because, but it's not even just about that. I think it's really about Google and Apple because Android is the software, but you're really talking about the Google suite of apps, and those have been so pervasive and successful. You know, they run, I think that's what hooks people. So you're working on Google Drive and Google Docs, and then you can go to Chrome, or you could go to your Microsoft or Apple system.
So is there consensus that Google is going to outpace Apple?
I think it has to because of the fact that the adoption, like Microsoft, goes to affordable devices. You know, I don't know how that plays out financially, but I know that in terms of numbers, that you're looking at, you know, going into countries that don't have smartphones, and you look at Motorola with their affordable phone, the E, and you see those are going to take over those remaining cell phones that are on the market that aren't smartphones, will be Android. And that's not a place that Apple usually plays in. So that's the sort of Microsoft-Apple game that went on for years in PCs. But I think Apple in the future, it sounds like it would lead towards looking at areas, look at the TV or the watch, places that maybe aren't where we thought we were before.
The Internet of Everything is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Scott Stein, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Good to see you.